I'm loving it. Trump's $2,000 tariff refund. Dude, this is it's great politics first and foremost. I love it. Great politics. And I need the money. We all need the money for sure. Because the prices of stuff are going up. I just looked at what did I just buy? $13.99 for a New York strip choice now. You know, a couple years ago it was $11.99. That's an increase. Over, 15, 20% or so. That is an increase. That's a fact. Eggs have gone way down. Price of electricity is going up. Can you blame this on tariffs? Come on, it's stupid. Can't blame it on tariffs. You just can't, because it'd be idiotic to do so. Because of the evidence that tariffs increases prices is so weak. It's actually embarrassing that economists still make this argument. If there's any evidence about tariffs, is that it actually decreases prices because it hurts economic growth. That's just a fact. The evidence that tariffs cause mass price run is so stupid. At least here in the United States. I haven't looked at all the other countries. In the United States, the evidence is weak. I like the $2,000 stimulus check. And it's not really a stimulus check. I mean, you could call it that, because what's going to happen is people are going to use it to pay off debt. Guarantee. I guarantee. And as such, people say, hey, I'm not going to buy a new phone. I got debt. And I like it, man. Absolutely. But Josh, you're just getting money back from the tax increase that tariffs cost. I hear this all the time. The Tax Foundation tries this, and I've destroyed their silliness many times over. Republicans as a whole will try this. Now Democrats en masse are saying they're anti-terrorist. The whole thing is just so corrupt. The duopoly of political regimes is insane. Anyway, I want the money more than I want the government to have it. But the government doesn't have the money, Josh. They're taking it from you. It's just so stupid. Dude, people don't realize this by now. Do you think the government needs to run on a balanced budget? It doesn't. So if it doesn't need to run on a balanced budget, then why not have us get it? If tariffs, which they are a way to protect industries for our national security, that does not increase the prices of my freaking New York strip choice meat. It doesn't. It's silly on his face. It just stop with that stuff, man. But what the money does is help us pay our electricity bills, because the Green New Deal, we're going to go green, Josh. It's going to reduce electricity prices. In the states that went the biggest green has the biggest increase in electricity prices. My own state of Maine. Because freaking Janet Shill's up there, scumbag. She freaking went nuts on the green stuff. Just carving up forests to put solar farms. It drives me insane. It's such an idiotic waste of land, of of money. It just is so insane. We had something called Maine Yankee in Wisconsin, which was a nuclear plant. They shut it down. My mom, one of my first pictures of me as a child is being with my mom protesting Maine Yankee. And because we were sold a bill of goods that nuclear is horrible, we're all going to die. And then whatever that stupid movie came out with Jane Fonda, Ain't Fonda Jane, and then 3 Mile Island, as if this is all coincidence. There's no such thing. Anyway, I want the money more than I want Trump to have it. I want the money. So if Trump can say, hey, we're going to give $2,000 per person, as long as you're not wealthy. I don't know how you define wealthy. I don't know. We make pretty good money, so I hope we're not considered wealthy, because we pay a crap load of taxes for that good money too. Let me tell you, we need the money more than Trump. We need the money more than friggin' Sniffy Joe. We need the money certainly more than these freaking rich conglomerates, Mendami, the trust fund Mendami. Apparently there's a thing now, trust fund Mendami or something like that going around, which is pretty funny. We need the money more than those clowns, so give it to us, baby. And I'm going to spend it on paying down debt, as most people do. This is why the whole thing with a stimulus package, by the way, if you're trying to, I'm not saying Trump is trying to stimulate the economy with this. The economy is not running on full cylinders. So again, oh my goodness, this is going to increase inflation. It just doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And then you'll hear, well, if a $2,000 stimulus doesn't increase inflation, why not a $100,000 stimulus? At some point, an influx of mass amounts of cash can be inflationary. No one would deny that. It can be inflationary. It's not hyperinflation, just not any stretch of the imagination. It's just not. You could literally, if you went back to France, Robespierre time, if you went to Germany, yes, a huge take of massive cash would be inflationary, unequivocally. No, we're not anywhere near that, my friends. It's so silly to even think about that. What causes inflation, again, is always and everywhere scarcity. How do you get scarcity? Well, you shut down economies. You make it harder to build things with supply chain issues. That's how you get scarcity. Oh my goodness, this isn't hard, man. Scarcity comes from making it harder to build things, to provide the goods and services people want. And when those goods and services are not provided in abundance, they become scarce, and that means the prices go up. Very simple. Socialism leads to scarcity, which leads to inflation. Ultimately, it drives everything underground, which will lead to essentially massive recessions for sure. That's what happens under scarcity. At least capitalism, the true free market capitalism, not the oligarchy crap that we got now, but true free market capitalism will lead to competition. And competition inherently reduces prices because you have competitive markets where someone says, hey, I can charge $30 for this. Someone says, well, hell, I think I can do it for $28. All right, and that's what happens. Now, when you have massive influx of immigrants, you're going to increase the demand. So not only do we have scarcity on the supply side, we have massive increases on demand, which does what? Yes, it does increase prices. Nothing really to do with the money supply, it just is not. And so as such, the money supply, i.e. the government printing machine goes burr, inflation, it's just dumb. I mean, it's just not there. Then they say, well, tariffs cause inflation. It's just simply not true. Anyway, so even Reagan is about tariffs. They were trying to lie about tariffs, what Reagan said. But even Reagan said, if you want to kill something, you tax it. That's what it is. If you want to increase something, you subsidize it. If you want to kill something, you tax it. All right, so that tax, if tariffs are truly a tax, and inherently they're deflationary, because if you want to kill something, according to Reagan, you tax it. So I love it, man. I need the money. You need the money. We all could use the money, and give it to me. And that just won't affect at all the inflation that we have. It just won't. What does affect inflation is massive increase in demand, reduction in supply, and lo and behold, that's why we have the massive inflation because of the last 10 years. It's just that simple. All right, love your thoughts. Let's get this done, Trump. I want my 2,000. Oh, I was going to say, another reason why a stimulus doesn't really do a stimulus in a debt-ridden society is because the people on the lower end who get the money are going to use it to pay down debt. They've already consumed the stimulus and they put it on credit cards and whatnot. So they'll use it to pay down debt. The people on the higher end who get the money, the rich people who don't need it, they'll just they won't spend it. What they'll do instead is they'll invest it. They'll put it away in investments and things of that nature. So what happens is you need the people in the middle class to get that money. That will be the stimulus. The poor people will pay down. I mean, the poor people are going to use. I mean, you got to get the poor people the money. Don't get me wrong. What I'm just saying is, if you really want the stimulus to be a stimulus package to get growth going and whatnot, you got to get the people who can use the disposable income to buy things they previously would not have bought. And it's tough to do that, though, if you got massive credit card debt, which I don't have. But if you did have massive credit card debt, you'd be have a lot of time using that money to buy something. You're going to use that money to pay down debt. And that's where the stimulus issue comes in. It's like, oh, we're going to give everybody $2,000 to stimulate the economy. Again, I'm not saying Trump's doing that. That's not a true stimulus, because most people, because we have so much debt, are going to use it to pay down debt. Remember, debt is deflationary. Unequivocally, debt is deflationary because it takes money that would be used to buy things, and it pays off things you've already purchased. And so debt is deflationary, because what you're doing is you're basically using your own debt as a stimulus package for today, recognizing you will not be able to buy those products in the future because you already spent it and you got to pay down the debt. All right. Anyway, let's get it done, Trump. All right. God bless.